Hello, and I'm going to try to get through this video without fluffing my lines or bumbling the information. This is a short piece about the 4-unit mid-century modern wall unit that I have listed for sale, and I can provide you some visual highlights as well as a picture of my dog, and tell you some more information that you may want to know before you consider buying it. I do think you need to know these details, and this is one way of showing it to you without you having to drive all the way out here to see it. So it's a unit that was bought in the 1970s, early 1970s, I'd say about 1972, in Toronto, and made in Toronto, Canada. And for a long time it was in the family living room of a house in Thornhill, and it's had only one owner for its entire existence. And as you can see, there are 4 independent units. I have a separate working unit over here, but I had that custom built for this apartment, so that doesn't come with it. So there you see Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, Unit 4, and just to keep it interesting, a picture of my dog. Now, you may be interested in the material. It's probably teak and teak veneer combined. I don't think it's teak solid throughout, but I'm not going to remove it from the wall to make sure. What I do know is that it's very, very well built, very strong, and for many years had many books, double stacked, double shelved, sometimes triple shelved, and it's structurally very sound. It's been moved twice, once from a family home in Thornhill to a nice condo in Thornhill, and then into a senior's residence. So that's the history of the unit. Then I'm going to tell you a bit about some of the features, and I'm also going to mention 1 or 2 minor defects that a resourceful person can repair and restore. So about the shelves, they're adjustable except for the ones that keep things in place, and as far as I know, they slide on wire rails into position, and I'll see if I can find some holes here for them to show you. Well, here we are. Here are some holes that show that how some of these shelves can be adjusted. And what you do is these pins that run the length of the shelving unit, you put them in and you literally slide the shelves in. Of course, there's a structural one in the middle, down here where the records are, and those are more fixed, I think. And the unit comprises 2 units with, as you see, records in 2 different places and at 2 different heights. It was a decision made when the pieces were originally put together. As you can see, the surface is in quite good condition. I don't know whether you can see that in this low light, but maybe if I pan up here, you can see how that works. So there you are. The piece was designed in the 70s when people had bars in their wall unit cabinets, and what I'm looking at now is the former bar unit. You'll notice that there's a minor defect here, and that's where the drop leaf drawer that used to close up this unit here and be a bar came loose, and I think somebody who knows what they're doing could probably fix this if they can find the right piece. And on the left of the screen there, you see the hinges that drop the drop leaf. I'm selling it without repair and without the drop leaf in position, but I do have most of the major parts. Some of the smaller restoration will need to be done by the person who buys these units. And then gratuitously, here's another picture of my bored dog who's very bored with this video. So there you go, and you'll see the adjustable shelves. They're good for holding CDs, and the album shelves are great. I think what you could probably hold is, at a guess, probably 20 albums in a slot. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 slots. So somewhere between, I'd say, 120 and 100, 100 and 120, or 120 and 200 for old school vinyl, things that I don't know whether people listen to vinyl anymore, but I do, even though I do a lot of streaming. So structurally it's very sound. There's the measurements you'd want to know. As far as I can remember, I think it's 15.75 deep, but I think it's 27 wide from side to side, and then it's 15.75 deep, and that accounts for why a 12-inch LP goes in there very comfortably. And then it's 78 inches high, I believe. So you're looking at 6 feet, 6.5 feet in height across the top. And as you can see, this is in a modest apartment, and there's enough room above to display things. I think when we had this originally in the living room of the house in Thornhill, we had a couple of great big JBL monitor speakers up there for the stereo system, and that was lots of fun because when they're up high, they really tie the room together and they fill it with sound. That's about it. When you're using the bookshelf, it's usually good to put some fairly heavy items on the bottom. Some fairly heavy items on the bottom that can anchor the bookshelf. I don't have ties that will tie it to the wall, but you can obviously buy those little corner brackets at the hardware store if you want to tie it off to the wall. So designed for holding books, the bottom shelf is actually designed for holding, I guess, 12 to 18 inch high books, so coffee table books, encyclopedias, reference works, and the like. And then at the moment, the shelves that are here are actually meant to hold paperbacks and hardcover books and things like that. A word about the doors. So there's a smoked glass door right there. One of the pieces is missing, the pull for the door. You can see that hole in the glass. So you can either take the door off and have it as open shelving, and I'll show you what that looks like with the crystal that's in here. So that's what those shelving units look like, and that's the door. They're clasped shut by a magnet, and it's fairly easy to get a piece of hardware that's mid-century modern and looks quite decorative that you could put in there. There is another door like this one, and it fits on the companion piece, which is all the way over here, and there's a piece from the fixture there. So that can be put in and installed from the pieces that we have, but again, I'm not going to repair it before I sell it. Just because I think the person that wants it will have their own use for it and decide whether they want smoked glass in their living room or not. So I think I've gone on long enough, probably too long for a YouTube video. So I'll just show, oh yes, one last thing. Aside from the bar area down here with the drop leaf cover, this was used as a home entertainment system, so you would have a full receiver turntable section in this middle section, and there's a hole cut in the back of the backboard behind these books so that you can do all the wiring behind the bookcase. But who uses wires these days? Everything's Bluetooth. But there is a hole in the backboard. That's just a fact of life, of what life was like in the 1970s. So I hope you liked seeing this. I hope it's provided you some further information. There's no water damage to the surface or to the structure of this wall unit. It's in very good shape, and so I'll look forward to hearing from you. The measurements, once again, are 27 wide, 15 3/4 deep, and I believe 78 high. I'm working from memory, so if you want to have them in writing, I can send that to you. Finally, here's another picture of my bored dog who wishes I would stop talking and take him for a walk. Thank you.